In this video, I'm going to be going through the responsibilities for the director on Florida Focus. The director he actually has the most unique role for the show. The director is the person who controls literally everything that happens on the show. He tells the technical director, the guy on the switchboard, what to do. He tells the graphics operator how to run, what to call up, and what to play, basically. He tells the audio operator which audio is coming up next and how to prepare for it. He tells the floor manager when to cue the anchors on and cue them off. So basically, the director runs the show. And if the director is the one who runs the show, then the director should be someone who would have a basic understanding of how the control room works, because the director would be on the control room. Therefore, the director should understand what equipment are in the control room and how they basically work, what they are called most essentially, because these are the things that would form part of his directing notes when he's running the show officially. So the director, when he comes into the control room, he will put on his headset. He will tell the camera operator how to frame the anchors, what framing would work, if the focus was good, and how to focus better. So the director is someone who should have an idea how basically all of the equipment work, because you're going to be giving directions based on what camera should work. Is it camera 1 or camera 2? How they should frame, what OTS should work, how does the OTS look on the bigger screen, if it's good enough, should there be changes, and how the timing goes. So if the script is not timing out fine, the director is the one to call out to the producer and have discussions and basically make sure everything times out perfectly. So the director is like the man who runs the show entirely, basically. So in this video, I'm just going to be introducing you to some of the instructions the director should be familiar with, and then what the show looks like. Eventually, in this video, you'll see how the directions are being given and how the technical director and perhaps the graphics operator react to the director's calls. The first instructions the director should be familiar with, they are the ready, change OTS, take, dissolve, cut. But cut is basically similar to take. So I just brought it down there in case there's a special occasion where you might need it. Then the B is basically the VTB, where you have the opening and the close. And that part is carried out or executed by the graphics operator. So the VTB is, we refer to it as the B. And that's the opening and the close. Then the cam 1, cam 2. These are the instructions the director will basically give while the show is going on. I will just show you, usually when the director comes into the studio, the director should be able to pick up the day's script. And when the person does, they would look at the script and they would annotate on the script. They'll write things on the script to help them direct through the show. This is what it usually looks like. But from now henceforth, we are trying to make some adjustments where we'll make provisions on the script you'll be having, so you don't have to write all over the place. The rundown basically tells you what OTS should be coming in, what basically the SOT will be coming in, what time should you be taking the full screen graphics, what time should you be taking the VOs. So your job is to look at the script, look at the rundown, familiarize yourself with the day script, and get ready to give your instructions. Now, to understand the cues better, ready basically means get ready to take a particular thing. So maybe you are telling the studio, you hear something like ready in studio, you're telling everyone in the studio where the anchor is, or the anchors are, as well as the floor manager and the camera operator. You're telling them to get ready. Ready in control room, everyone in control room get ready. So you're basically telling everyone get set for the next thing that is going to be happening. In the studio, in the control room, you hear something like ready OTS, lower third, and camera 1 or camera 2. You're basically telling everyone to get ready to take the next action. Change OTS is basically what it is. Change the OTS. Ready OTS. You can tell someone, you can tell the graphics operator, ready the OTS. So the graphics operator readies the OTS and he gets ready to take it. Take means bring it live. So while it's being previewed, you're readying it, it's being previewed by the technical director. Take means take it live, bring it live. So take OTS means bring it live. Take Cam 1 means bring Cam 1 live. Take SOT means take sound on tape. Take VO means take VO. Take full screen graphics means take it, bring it on the live screen. That's what it basically means. Dissolve, we usually use dissolve at the ending of the show when we are about to dissolve to the closing. Also, you can also use dissolve at the beginning of the show where you are telling the technical director to dissolve from the opening to Cam 1. But usually you just say take Cam 1. So it's only at the ending when you're about to dissolve to closing, you tell director dissolve to B. Then the cuts, as I said, is the same thing as take. So you only use that under special circumstances. And then you have the Cam 1 and Cam 2. We refer to them Cam 1, Cam 2. Then the B is the VTB, the closing, the opening and the closing graphics. That's what we call the B. So if you hear roll B means roll the opening. Dissolve to B means dissolve to the ending. You get that? So the B has the opening and the close. When you hear roll B, you are telling the technical director to essentially get the opening going. Dissolve to be at the end of the show. You're telling the technical director dissolve to the closing as the show is about to wrap up. These are the cues you should be familiar with. These cues are also on the Florida Focus handbook. Try as much as you can to study the handbook. Familiarize yourself with these terms. Directing, it sounds complicated right now, but it's actually really fun. This is what the instructions for the director would look like. The instructions are on the right side of the screen, all of the rows on the screen. Usually you would, that part of the screen or that part of the script would be empty. You would need to, when you come into the studio for the day, you need to get a pen and annotate, write down basically what the instructions would look like. And you would do that after you've familiarized yourself with every of the instructions for the day, where the VOs are, where the full screen graphics are, where the OTS graphics are, who is on mic 1, mic 2, and basically familiarize yourself with the dynamics of the show for the day. Every day will have a certain twist to it. You should be able to familiarize yourself with what the show for the day would look like. The typical control or the typical instructions are laid out here, and I'm just gonna go through them so you see basically what you will be doing for the day when you come in and everyone is ready to go. Let me take this down here so it doesn't confuse you. So this is what the show starts with when everyone is ready to go and the director is ready to call the show. You start with ready in studio, ready in control room, roll and record. Then the roll and record is basically telling the graphics operator or the technical director that, hey, it's time to record the show. Start recording. So we have some pad at the beginning. Then you would tell everyone to ready OTS, lower thirds, and cameras 1 and 2, or if we are running just on a single camera, ready OTS, lower thirds, and camera 1. And then you start your countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ready. Basically, you just tell them roll open. Let me change this so it doesn't confuse you. You now tell the technical director or the graphics operator, you just basically give the order aloud. After countdown, you say roll open. And roll open means start the opening. Let us start counting. And when the opening has been executed, that order has been executed, and it's playing, you get ready to direct the anchors in the studio when to start talking. And if you're going to do that, what you're going to say is mic cue. When you say mic cue, it means start reading as an anchor. So the teleprompter guy is waiting for you to say mic cue, so he starts running the teleprompter as the anchors start reading. So mic cue basically means start reading. So the roll up, when you've rolled the opening is rolling, you're getting ready to tell the anchors to mic cue. And when you tell the anchors mic cue, they've started reading, right? Hello and welcome to Florida Focus. I'm Kaylin Alvarez. I'm Christian Minus. While they are reading this, you can see by the side, you're telling everyone in the control room to ready the stinger. And when they are done reading Christian Minus, you tell them take the stinger. And while the stinger is rolling, the anchor will basically start reading as the stinger is rolling. So while they've started reading, after you've given the order to take the stinger, you're telling those in the control room to ready the camera one. And immediately the stinger is done playing, you're telling them to take camera one. So you see what happens there. You've cued them in, they've started reading, and while you're reading, the stinger doesn't stop them from reading. The stinger plays while they are reading. So you're telling them, my cue, hello and welcome to Florida Focus. While you're saying that, you're saying to the control room guys, ready stinger. And when it's time to say, when they are done mentioning the name Christian Minus, you say take stinger. While the stinger is playing, you're telling those in the control room as well to ready camera one. And when the stinger is done playing, you're telling them to take camera one. Okay? And now they are reading. They are going on, and you see on the script there's a point where they will have to take a full screen graphics. You tell those in the control room, ready stills 2. Stills 2 is where the full screen graphics are. You tell them to ready stills 2. When it's time to take it, at the line where you hear passengers are now stranded, you now tell everyone in the control room, take stills 2. Basically, you're telling the technical director, but you're just saying it aloud. So everyone on their equipment knows what instructions are meant for them to execute. So your job is to, pay attention and just give the instructions while everyone executes the instructions. So you basically say ready stills 2, which is the full screen graphics. When it's time, take stills 2. So while you've taken the stills 2 and the anchor is still reading, you are telling the control room guys to change OTS to next story, because this story is still going on, so you're trying to get them ready for the next story. Change OTS, and this should be ready camera 2, which is the next camera. Change OTS, ready camera 2. When the story is done, particular story, you tell them take camera 2. And the next anchor, the anchor continues reading, because they're basically reading until you tell them to basically stop reading. But they don't really stop because everything is going in the appropriate sequence. So while you've told them to take cam 2, the next anchor has started reading, which is the anchor on the camera 2. All right? So if he has a package, usually they will have a package. You can say there's a package. So when you've seen that there's a package, you tell those in the control room, ready clips 2. Clips 2 is the folder for the packages and the SOTs. But the technical director and the graphics operator already has all of that arranged in the right order. So all you need to do is just tell them to take it. So ready clips 2, and the anchors are reading. When it's time to take it, now you hear when the anchor reads, Publix is now limiting what you can buy. You tell the control room, take clips 2. The package starts playing. While the package is playing, the next instruction is ready the next OTS and ready camera 1, because camera 1 is the next part where we will be going for the next anchor. So you're telling them to basically ready camera, or ready next OTS and ready camera 1. Basically, that's what you were doing. So when you have said that and the package is still playing, when the package is about to end, you tell the anchors, take camera 1. Take camera 1 means for the next anchor to start reading. While the anchor is reading, You also prepare for the next part of the instruction, which is ready the clips too, because you've seen your script, there's a VO coming up while the anchor is reading. So you tell those in the control room to ready clips too. When it's time to take the VO, when the anchor gets to the point where you hear help drivers when they head to the pump, you tell them take clips too, which is the VO. And while the VO is playing, don't forget a VO plays while the anchor reads, except it's a package or a donut or something or an SOT. While the VO is playing, the anchors are reading. So the anchors do not stop reading. So you're just basically telling those in the control room to take the VO while the anchors are reading. Okay? And then while the anchors are reading that particular story, you are getting ready for the next OTS and to ready camera one. So you basically tell those in the control room, ready next OTS, ready camera one. When it's time at the end of that story, plummeting to record lows, you tell those in the control room to take camera one. And the next anchor starts reading. While the anchor is reading, the same thing. So it just basically you repeat instructions. Ready clips too, because there's a VO coming up, and the VOs and the SOTs, as I said earlier on, are in the clips 2 folder. So you're basically telling those in charge of that equipment, basically the technical directors and perhaps the graphics operator, to ready clips 2. And when it's time, you've heard of Florida rights restoration, you're telling them take clips 2. The VO is playing. Don't forget, whenever a VO is playing, the anchor doesn't stop. Except there's a way we run the show where for the VO, there's usually a nat sound. A nat sound basically means a natural sound from the VO. So want a natural sound to play, or usually you will hear something about the SOT, and then there's some silence for the anchors to continue reading. So let's take for example, let me see. Yeah, so let's imagine this VO is an SOT. If it's an SOT and you've told them to ready clips 2, take clips 2, while the SOT is being played, you're telling you'll be ready to tell the anchors when to start reading. So when the SOT, you have the script, you should know where the SOT ends and when the anchors should start reading. So, and remember, the SOT doesn't mean you're changing the camera. Perhaps the SOT is just part of a longer VO. So it's like a VOSOT. So we have a VOSOT, basically. That's what it's called. So you have a VOSOT and there's a VO for you to read before the SOT comes. So when if there's a VOSOT, you should understand that some part of that clip would be silent for the anchors to read, and at some point someone is going to speak on the on that particular clip. So when the VO is playing, get ready to tell the anchors to continue reading, and when it's time for them to stop reading, they should know, because the script should basically indicate that. And when it's for them to start continue reading as well, you basically tell them to mic cue. You can recall the mic cue instruction is here. So whenever the anchor is about to read, you will see the instruction mic cue over here. So these are the things you should basically keep in mind. But for the meantime, let's just go through the show so you understand how the show runs. So you can see that you're basically repeating instructions. A VO is being taken, you are telling, while the anchors are reading, you are telling those in the control room to ready next OTS and ready camera 2. And when the anchor is done reading, you tell them to take camera 2 while the next anchor starts reading. While the anchor is reading, you're reading clips 2 because there's an SOT coming on. Okay? And then you take clips 2. While the SOT is playing and it's done, you tell the anchors to mic cue. So you're telling them mic cue, start reading now that the SOT is done. Okay? Now, during an SOT, we would usually bring in the lower third for the name of the person reading. We bring it in and take it out. So these are the kind of instructions you hear. While the SOT is going on, you hear take lower third and lose lower third. Usually it's like a 4-second window, depending on the length of the SOT. The SOT is shorter, have like a shorter window. But while the SOT, remember it's an SOT. Sometimes it could be a VO. A VO is playing. You are meant to tell the technical directors to take a lower third or lose a lower third. But already you should know, as I said earlier on, how the dynamics of the entire show would look like. That would help you give the instructions correctly. Now, when the SOT is done playing, you're telling the anchors the mic cue, and as they are taking them, as they start reading, and they are reading that part of the story, you are telling everyone else to ready next OTS and ready camera on. So the next anchor will start reading. When the story, a particular story is done, you take cam 1. And while you've taken cam 1, the next thing you do, because we have a VO coming up, ready clips 2, take clips 2. Then ready next OTS. When that story is done, ready cam 1, take cam 1. So while the story is going on, you're telling them to ready OTS, ready cam 1, and when it's time, take cam 1. Now the ending, while we have the anchors saying their farewells, so they are saying basically that's all we have for Florida Focus. While they are saying that, you're reading B and you're rolling B. So ready B means that ready to close. B, remember, B stands for the opening and the close. At the beginning, when you say roll B, is the opening. Roll open or roll B is the opening. At the end, when you say ready B and roll B, you're telling them to basically roll the ending. So while the last part of the show, when the anchors are saying the farewell, and they're about to say that's all we have for Florida Focus, within that window, you are telling the technical directors to ready B and roll B. So while they are rolling, it's playing on the background as the anchors are saying thank you for watching. Remember, the closing is playing on the background while the anchors are saying thank you for watching. So immediately they are done saying thank you for watching. You're telling the technical director to now dissolve to B. So dissolve to the close. That's what basically the show looks like. And when it has dissolved to the close, depending on what the show would look like for the day, you're now telling them to fade to black. Yeah, I know it's kind of complicated. Yeah, I understand. But I'm just giving you this as a guide. So when you come into the studio and you familiarize yourself with the equipment, you would see that everything I'm saying right now would start making sense. So that's why the video is here, for you to, to have something to fall back on, something sort of a guide to help you through while you learn the process. No one just watches the video and does this. You have to actually practice it. Okay, so this is what the director does. He just basically directs everything in the show. He tells everyone what to do while the show is going on. All right, so remember, ready in studio, ready control room, rolling record, ready OTS, lower thirds and cameras. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Or you, after 2, you hear roll open. We don't usually say 1, we just say roll open. The opening is rolling, and when the opening is whenever the director chooses, he'll tell the anchors mic cue. The anchor starts reading, and every other instructions follow. So you can see that every show sometimes can be different, but all you have to do is familiarize yourself with the equipment, what they are called, well, whatever is can be what folder is the SOT, the VOSOT, the package, where they are. Familiarize yourself with the instructions, what the show is going to look like, how many cameras, from what are we moving on from, are we moving from a 2-shot camera to a 1-shot camera, or from a 1-shot camera to a 2-shot camera? What are we changing? How many OTS do we have? Who is in the control room? Who is in the studio? Do we have a floor manager? Is the floor manager able to give your instructions correctly? And you're looking at the main monitor. You are telling the floor manager to make sure the anchors are properly framed, because you're looking at it. If they're not properly focused, then they should be focused right. That we have a video on how to frame a camera, how to focus a camera. So you are there to make sure that everything is just looking right, and you're giving everyone the right instructions to follow. And you can see the instructions are basically repetitive. All you have to do is just following based on what the script of the day would look like. Sometimes we'll have a feature where we'll start with the SOT, so you have to make some changes, and that's why I'm making this particular script, so we have a template on what to work on how to work on. So basically when you come into the show, you see that this side of the script will be empty. You will be the one to come in and fill them on based on what the show is going to look like for that particular day. Now that you've seen how the director will basically mark up his script and call out the instructions, let me show you a very brief example of how these interactions occur. You would see in this video I had the director come in. He's a former student of Florida Focus. His name is Austin Pete. I am also there running the switcherboard as the technical director, and I also have Steve running the graphics operator. So we don't have an anchor. We have to basically pretend as though we have an anchor, and we'll do like a 2-story show to show you. You listen to the director and see how he calls the instructions. You can use the script, this example I've given to you, and basically make sense of the way he calls out the instructions and how the show would basically flow.
All right, let's do this. Ready in studio, ready in control room, ready, roll and record. Ready open,
332.
ready cam 1, OTS on lower third, counting down from 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ready cam 1. Take cam 1. Ready clips 1. Take clips 1. Change the OTS. Ready cam 1. Take cam 1. Ready clips 2. Take clips 2. Ready OTS, or change the OTS. Ready cam 1. Take cam 1. Ready clips 2. Take clips 2. Change the OTS. Ready cam 1. Take cam 1. Ready B. Dissolve the B. And ready to run.